From the top rope to your collection, this is collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I am your host, Moon 3PO, and this is my tag team partner, Bropio, coming with a Topps Chrome and Royal Rumble episode. Bropio, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Coming off a big wrestling live event. I'm gonna have lots of words. Which a lot of wrestling.
You, my friend, had an eventful.
Which a lot of wrestling this past week.
You have an eventful last week.
Yeah.
Of course, if you guys listened to the last episode, before we get into anything, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into that episode. When we started this, I didn't know how it was going to go. I didn't know what the feedback was going to get. You guys killed it on YouTube. You guys killed it on the Spotify, the Apple stuff. I try not to look at too much of statistics. I try not to get into that too much, but the feedback that I got from you guys was incredible. So I really do thank you guys for tuning into that episode. But of course, if you did not tune into that episode, if you're a new subscriber and or listener to the channel and or on the feeds on Spotify and Apple, you know that Bropio had an eventful last week. So he's going to go over all that. If you guys know, excuse me, you kind of hear my voice, I am a little bit sick. So excuse me about that. But I was not able to go to these wrestling events. I was out of town. I was in Dallas. I was being a cheer husband. For those that don't know, Mrs. Moon 3PO is a cheer coach, so I was in Dallas for NCA. So I did miss a few of the wrestling events here that were in town. But I know Bropio and the other person that we've tried getting on the podcast, but like we've mentioned before, he's a bozo and doesn't know how to work technology. So we'll have to work with him to get that going. Went to a few wrestling events here. So Bropio, let's start with that. Let's start off in the middle of the week because you lived out a childhood memory and you went to TNA and you met a special tag team. First of all, let's talk about TNA because I know we talked about watching TNA Genesis from and I don't think you've ever been to a TNA show before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you and myself have never been to a TNA show. I know they've been in San Antonio a couple of times.
Yeah,
but we've never been to a TNA show.
They were here I think they were here this past September of last year, and I had went back and forth about going, and just for specifically the team that we're obviously hinting to is the Hardy Boys. They were there too in September, and I was kind of kicking myself in the butt for not going because I heard about they were doing a meet and greet and stuff like that. And then especially I was listening to, if anybody if you're a wrestling fan, listen to Busted Open on Sirius XM Radio. Tommy Dreamer and them talked about how they stayed to 1, 2 in the morning, literally doing autographs, pictures, and stuff like that. So I was like, damn, I really could have. I was kicking myself in the butt about it. I think that was also the live event where Jeff did the Bray Wyatt inspired face paint with the teeth and stuff like that, where he did for the Fiend. That was last time. So yeah, that was the first TNA event. We can even backtrack it. I know we talked about it a little bit last time, but Genesis, that was actually the first pay-per-view I actually probably sat down and watched. That was TNA. But it was a good pay-per-view. I liked it. Like I said, I'm trying to expand the wrestling. So I am going to try to, as we're recording this, it is a Tuesday night. So as we know, the lovely AEW Dynamite is on tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to catch that. But we'll see how that goes. So anyways, just backtracking. So yeah, about the tickets on a whim for the Thursday show, Thursday live event for TNA, and it blew my mind that was actually, they were promoting that the first live event, that was their first live event in 8 years. Yeah. And I was like, my God, I cannot believe that.
Yeah, I know during even before when the whole when their company was kind of I don't want to say in shambles, but I know financially they were kind of up in the air. And then during COVID, they just recorded a bunch of episodes all at once and then just released it on their platform. So yeah, it was kind of crazy that this is the first time this is a live event, and like you mentioned, in so long.
Yeah, and I don't know too much of the details, but I don't think they had a TV deal. I think that was the big thing, is the whole TV deal. And now I think they're on Access channel. I don't know what channel that is, or you can get it through TNA Plus, which I'm assuming is their subscription based service, the way the WWE Network used to be. But yeah, so we went to TNA, got some floor seats, so it was pretty cool. Paid around $30 a ticket, so it wasn't for a floor seat, $30, take it. So it was a small venue, obviously. But I would say it was a really good crowd. It was loud. The crowd was pretty interactive. Um, but yeah, so we first walked in there. Went straight to the merch table just because I wanted to try to get a Hardy Boys shirt. The merch was not that good, so they had like two Hardy Boys shirt. One of them like just had them like it looked like it was geared for kids. And then another one had like just the tag team titles on it, and then it just said like the Hardys. So I thought it was I don't know, I thought it was pretty weird. So I thought maybe they would have had that Hardy shirt, the one that
Yeah.
Matt always wears, the one that says like the 1992 like whatever, but they didn't
Oh,
have
weird.
it. So I thought that was weird because that was the shirt I was gonna get. Yeah. And then they had like a couple of obviously they had like Joe Hendry and a couple of other people that I'm not too familiar with. But there wasn't that much of a selection, so they had a lot of like opportunities for like autographs and meet and greets. So that's where it came up. I came about. So I was walking around. I saw the Hardy Boys one, and I was going back and forth about it. I was like, oh, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? Um, so I was contemplating it. I went, got a drink. Obviously, the wife who was with me too. I sat down in the chair. I looked over. Like I think we watched the first match, and I think it was like I think it was probably. I'm pretty sure it was a taping because I think it's getting advertised for this week. But it was Brian Myers versus God. I don't remember his name. So whoever Brian Myers fights, that's who I saw. And after that, I was like, shit, I gotta go buy the meet
One
and
beer and
greet.
that's what it did. Yeah.
So I went to the yeah, what brew? That was it. So it was $90. So it's
Not
not.
bad.
I mean, it's not bad for their like level because I was like, and I think in the end game, I think they're eventually gonna go back to the WWE and eventually retire. But like eventually, like, once they start, like if you try to do a meet and greet with like WWE superstars, like that shit costs like fucking thousands of dollars. Like you have to do like that platinum. What is it?
Yeah,
That
and especially now when you think about
suite
it, like
or
all
like
their like
a
meet and greets now are at these like Fanatics live events, which are like basically like their own like Comic Cons, which
yeah.
like they're doing one this weekend in Indianapolis for the Rumble, which that's like its own event in its own entirety, and those are not cheap. So yeah, $90 is not bad.
Yeah, I think like yeah, I think like the one who was advertised here for Saturday Night's main event for WWE, I think it was Rey Mysterio, and I think it was like $900. I was like, God
Damn,
damn. So anyways, spent $90 to meet the Hardys, and so it was pretty cool. So we went through the whole event, and they had a couple of dark matches, which the first one was Cora Jade. Vought I don't know her name, so sorry, I don't know your name, but as soon as like halfway through Cora's match, I think it was like a squash match too, which I think that's also probably going to
I think
air
it's airing on
on
Thursday.
this
Yeah, she's been
Thursday,
promoting
if I'm
on
not
her
mistaken. Because
Instagram.
I think I think she's being advertised for a match or that she's in action on TNA. So yeah, so just FYI, it's a squash match.
Spoiler
So
alert.
we sat through half of it. Uh, Spoiler alert! Sorry. um, and I wanted to kind of get in line early because I was like, man, I'm afraid that like we're gonna be long and stuff like that. So like when we got to the line, we were probably maybe like halfway to the table, and I got in line like around 9:20 ish, right? And then there's a guy going around. I'm pretty sure he's like from somebody for TNA. Which speaking of which, really quick, do you remember Christy Hemme?
Yeah, the redhead from like 2005, 2006. Did
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
did
She was just wandering around the arena like
really?
nothing. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, like some fans would go up to her, and I was telling the wife, I was like, "Don't you remember Christy Hemme?" And she was
Yeah,
like,
she
"No, I don't." I was like, "Really?"
the young kid in me. She did a special magazine.
Yeah, it was funny too because I will talk about it later off camera. But so anyways, she was walking around. And so anyways, this guy was walking around, and it was like around 9:20 when we were in the line, and the guy was like, "Oh, we still got 30 more minutes of wrestling. If anybody wants to go, watch some more wrestling, and then after that, we'll start the Hardys." And I think on our where I was lined up, it was the Hardy Boys and Joe Hendry. was on the other side. Um, and I was like, I'm staying in line. Like I was like, I'm already like halfway here. Like the line got super long. So I think like maybe like before like maybe 5 or 10 minutes before like the actual last dark match ended, um, the Hardy Boys like just came through, and so did Joe Hendry. And dude, so I was half like I said, we were halfway like to the table, it took us an hour and 20 to get to the front. So we left the arena like around 10:30 ish, and the line was hella long still. Like I was crazy. Um, so I'm pretty sure I can't imagine like how long they stayed for, and I'm pretty sure they did it the next day because they had
Taping,
a
yeah.
taping for Friday there. Um, yeah. But yeah, like by the time we got there, like Joe Hendry had already left his side. Like he was done with his meet and greets. Like we were there to the point where like we even got to see like some of the superstars leave. So we saw like Cora Jade leave Little Arena. We saw I think we saw Wesley leave because he was there, and we saw his crew that he's down with there in NXT. And we saw somebody else leave. I can't remember who. Oh, we saw Tessa Blanchard. Like she was just
Damn.
chilling there.
Booing
People
her?
were booing her in
Yeah.
the hallway. Yeah, yeah, dude. The heat that she got, that it's real. Like I was like curious to see like how it compared to like from Genesis. Like when we were there, like it was real. People were not happy to see her. For reasons that
Yeah,
we won't get
obvious
into.
reasons,
So
yeah.
that's
That's
a
a
whole
different
different
story.
story. But if you know,
Google it.
you
Go on
know.
our Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Go on our
if you know,
Wikipedia
you know,
page.
and if you don't know, just Google it and appreciate. Yeah, yeah, you'll see it. It was funny too because going back to Tessa Blanchard real quick, like when she came out live, this guy like got up quick and he was like, "Get out of here!" And then he puts up a sign. You might see it if you go back, and it just says like "Go away." And he stood there the whole time. So I'm pretty sure if you go back and look at the live recordings, you can see it. But yeah, so we stay there. It took us about an hour and a half. Super super cool guys. Like pretty much like I was like starstruck. I didn't know what to say. But I got to shake their hands. I told them thank you, for like pretty much entertaining us, still to this day. And poor guys look so tired. Like you could tell that they were tired, but I mean they chugged through it. So we took the picture. We got to hold the tag team titles, so it's pretty cool. I even printed out the picture and I have it hanging on my wall in the back, but can't really see it, but it's back there. Maybe next spot I'll switch them with Cody right there, like you can see. But yeah, so that was our Thursday night, and then we get to Saturday. So obviously we had tickets for Saturday night's main event. Um, so I know I think last spot too. I had talked about like wanting to do like a little vlog because we were taking our 3-year-old daughter to the event too, which she absolutely had a great time. She loved it. I did have the little video on TikTok, so please go give the TikTok some love, give it some views, give it some hearts. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was a little nervous at first to how she was gonna react. I was scared that she was like, I don't want to say she was gonna get bored, but like sometimes she doesn't like to just sit in the chair. She wants to be walking around. She sat through that whole bit, all 2 hours. And it was pretty cool. You got to watch the video. Like if you want to see her reacting to Jey Uso coming out and doing the the whole yeet thing, like she had a blast. She was yelling. She was singing the theme song. She did the whoa to Cody like everybody does. The only one she didn't react to, I surprised she didn't, was Rhea. So I don't know if maybe she was a little starstruck, like, is this happening? Is that really her?
Which
But
to be
that
fair,
one she kind of
everybody
just
I
like
think is
stood still.
starstruck when they see Rhea Ripley,
was,
either on TV or anywhere in person.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That is a valid point. Valid point. But yeah, other than that, I mean, Saturday night's main event was hella fun. Got to see a lot of cool matches. I thought it was fun. I one thing that's kind of irking me on the internet is
I
like,
was going to
people
ask
are
her
like,
opinion on that.
like, oh, it's a glorified house. And it's a glorified house show, and that it would have been better if there was a title change. I'm like, people, like, a title change is not gonna automatically just make it
I was going to
a
ask you
better
about that. I
show.
think
Like,
I
it's
think where
just
that
not
stigma
how it
comes
works.
from is like when the first Saturday Night main event happened, there was those rumblings and those rumors that a major title change was going to happen. I think people thought there was going to be that potential opportunity that Kevin Owens was going to win the WWE Championship and then drop it automatically at the Rumble to back to Cody so they can start building up, for WrestleMania season. I think that was the idea that was being presented. Obviously, Sheamus and Braun Breaker as well. Which shout out to Jesse Ventura. Hell of I don't know. I was watching on my phone and kind of I watched it back.
Yeah,
Hell of
I went
commentary.
back. I went back I went back and listened to watch the recording. Just because I wanted to hear his commentary on the match. But yeah, that
Two
dude is
plus
so
three
awesome.
is a Steiner.
Like
Two
that's why
plus
I
two is
love
five.
that's why I love even watching. I like going back and watching like all the old Saturday Night's main events and just have him in the background because I love his commentary. Let me tell you something, McMahon. So, um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. So we got to see him, but yeah, this whole title changing is it's weird. 'Cause I know there was rumblings. They were like, oh, um, like people were upset that Jay didn't get the title, and I was like that does kind of suck. And for a second, dude, I thought for a second when he
Dude, it
hit
was
that spear
close.
and then hit that splash, I was like, oh shit, like he's actually, yeah. Um, so that one did suck, but man, like I think eventually his title reign's gonna come, and I think it's probably gonna come at a bigger stage, probably because that dude deserves. Because man, that he is so over right now, and like literally, I crap you not, like the whole like stadium was yeeting, like it was crazy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I can understand like the glorified house show kind of thing because that's basically what house shows are. Like they just like it's just a bunch of matches, send the crowd home happy, blah blah blah. But I mean, I think it's a little bit more. It's a bigger stage. So I can see where they're saying it's glorified, but I don't know. I had a blast. So yeah, that's my wrestling weekend. So
Yeah, you had a hell of
it
a
was fun.
weekend. Also forgetting to, I want to ask your opinion on. I from again what I saw through my phone and what I saw through back when I was back at the hotel watching on my iPad. The rise of Jacob Fatu. It seems like they're pushing this guy to the moon, obviously for good reason.
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to see what you thought. Like, what was the crowd environment for that? I know they're obviously doing the one more when he was doing the moonsault to Braun Strowman. But it seems like based on the crowd
Oh
reaction,
yeah. I was chanting one more.
Hey. um, but yeah, it seems like they're pushing
Yeah,
that.
no, the whole crowd was hyped up. Like even when he came out, there was a bunch of people yelling, "I love you, Solo." So, uh, yeah, I mean he's over it. I think that moment alone like put him on the map because I think they were talking about it like I don't know. I can't even tell you like how many like hip. I don't know what's that move. What are those moves called anyways?
Hip
Hip
thrust,
thrust
yeah, something like
something. I
that.
don't know. Whatever that move is called. Um, I lost track of how many he did to Braun, and I was like, God damn! And then he hit like I think like 3 or 4
Yeah,
moonsaults on him. But yeah, it was pretty cool seeing that his entrance, dude. The aura just like fucking is crazy, dude. Like the fire coming out, and yeah, and then that promo he cut
coming
like
to the
coming to the
stage.
stage, like that was dope. And then with Tama Tonga with the
Dude, the promo,
yeah.
not to get sidetracked, the promo on Friday with Tama Tonga and LA Knight when he was like, what everybody say, yeah, 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 yeah. That dude's a legend.
But yeah, man, those both of those guys they're fucking funny and they're hilarious. But yeah, dude, yeah, he was crazy. It was pretty cool. But yeah, they're pushing him, so he's
Yeah.
coming.
So yeah, I like we've discussed here. I watched it from home. It looked like it was a fun event. They will be It looks like we were confirmed that SmackDown is coming back to our hometown on June 6th. So hopefully that will be my return to a
Yep.
wrestling live event because I haven't been since we haven't been. When did they come to Raw? Like in March, April, around there, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it came
pre
in March
pre
because it
pre
was like
WrestleMania.
the
Yeah,
the
that's when
WrestleMania.
they were doing the final boss stuff
Yeah,
and all that. So yeah, that was the last time I went to a wrestling event. Uh, so hopefully June 6th, I will be there. We will all be there on SmackDown. That we can get an official vlog, a full vlog, hopefully on the Moon 3PO channel. Maybe you never know, rip open some packs live at the Frostbake Center. I think that would be pretty cool. Um,
and that one I think like honestly, dude, I want to try depending on what the prices are because the prices are
yeah.
getting crazy. But I want to try to get into the lower level because that's also my daughter that's her birthday
Oh
weekend.
yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna take her again. So we want to try to maybe get a little bit closer. Maybe we can make a sign for her and try to get her on camera.
Oh yeah, that
So,
would be cool.
but yeah, we're definitely gonna try to arrange some tickets for that one so we can get like we said we could do a bigger vlog maybe, and then we could throw it up on the good old YouTube. Um, and yeah, that'd be fun. Like I said, rip some packs
Yeah,
too because
yeah.
We got the
We
checklist.
got the
We
checklist.
got the checklist.
And that is a perfect segue here to this 2025 Topps Chrome WWE. Again, if you guys tuned into the last episode, you guys know that we covered the full parallels. I do also have a video on the YouTube channel at Moon3PO. If you guys also want to go check that out. But we do got an official checklist, and we also got some more inscriptions as far as of what they've announced right now. But the checklist here is pretty standard. Again, like we've discussed here in the last episode, it is a 200 base checklist. It is obviously going to contain some of your now superstars, your veterans, and of course your future stars. Obviously, you're going to have your Roman Reigns, your Gunther, your Seth freaking Rollins, your Stone Cold Steve Austin's, your Bret Hart's, your John Cena's, your Solo Sikoa's, and when you go down to NXT, of course, you're going to have your Ethan Page, your Andre Chase's, your Shawn Spears, your Jada Parker's, your Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade's, all those types of likes here. So it is a pretty well-known checklist, and a pretty, I would say, for their first product, a pretty good checklist. Of course, they have the full bloodline as well. Jacob Fatu is making his debut in Topps Chrome. It's always very interesting because I don't think it's going to have the RC badge, but Select did not have the RC badge. I know RC badges are pretty highly debatable within wrestling cards just because they sometimes do and do not have them. But of course, that's another episode for another time. But I know the big thing for me when it came to the checklist was two of the rising women down in NXT are not in this checklist. We are missing Stephanie Vicker and we are missing Julia. Now, I'll throw it to you, Bro Peel, for that really quickly. When we saw, and you hinted on there before, and again in the last episode, there was a rumblings that they were not going to be in the checklist. So they are still remaining right now only in Panini products. Of course, there is the Topps Now Julia when she won the NXT Championship 2 weeks ago, the NXT Women's Championship to be exact. So you do have that aspect that is now officially sold out. You cannot buy that. So if you want to go buy that card, of course, you got to go buy on eBay or any other secondary marketplace. But Bro Pio, when you look at the checklist and you look at those two missing, which I would think right now they're the two biggest rising stars, women in both men and female on the NXT side and both on the main roster side that they're missing. Do you think that takes away from the product, or you still think overall for this being the first checklist that this is still going to be something that's going to be highly desirable within the WWE fan base and or the wrestling card community?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna really necessarily like take away from the product itself. I think I mean, obviously, people are still gonna buy it, and people are gonna be chasing the cards. But I thought it was a little weird, a little bit of a bummer that they're not in it specifically. Like, I mean, they've been in the WWE, I think, already now for a while. I think we first saw Julia like at the takeover last year before WrestleMania, or I don't know. It's not called takeover anymore. It's called Stand and Deliver. I'm sorry. Takeover Day was the black and gold era. I'm sorry. But so they've been around for a while, and I think Stephanie Vaquero also has been there since I think like the summer. Because I think the last I remember her was like when she fought Mercedes Moné at All In, right, or at Wembley.
I believe Wembley. I believe Wembley. Yeah, one of those.
So that's like after that, like she dipped and went to WWE. So it was a little weird that they're not in it, and I think it also probably would just drive up the price market for their rookie cards in Select, which they're already short printed in that set, if I'm not mistaken. So I know when I've looked at eBay, like each card was like around like the $30-ish range. I think Julie was a little bit more than Stephanie Verker, but I mean, obviously they're both sought out by fans. So a little bit of a bummer that they're not in here, but I think it'd be interesting to see like what's the next set that they do. But I don't know. It's I don't think it's gonna take away because I think honestly people are probably chasing bigger names. Not that they're not big names, they're rising stars, but I mean people are gonna be chasing like Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, stuff like that. So yeah, but it is weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is a little bit weird. I wouldn't know if they're saving them for like a bigger product. We don't know what the full release of what Topps and Fanatics have for the WWE license. Obviously, we know that they're treating it a little bit differently this year. They're promoting the heck out of it, both on the Instagram and on. If you watch Raw on Netflix, they promote the hell out of it. When it comes to the top style cards, and I think on
They're even
Thursday too,
promoting
I believe
the
in
digital
that
app,
Fanatics
dude.
event in that.
I saw Michael Cole did like a
I'm sorry, yeah, you froze there. But yeah, like on Thursday, they're doing the Indianapolis Fanatics thing. I know they're going to be hosting breaks. I think I saw like Big E, Tyler Breeze, and I think somebody else are be doing breaks on Thursday on Fanatics
yeah,
Live.
and
Bailey, yeah,
Bailey.
I know I was missing somebody. So they're going to be
Yeah,
promoting the hell out of this product.
yeah.
Um, it's definitely going to be fun to see on Fanatics Live. I know some breakers and some hobbyists have already gotten their boxes, so they've been ripping open at the packs like on Whatnot and stuff like that. And the cards look great in my opinion. So I'm definitely still excited for the set, guys. Of course, like I do got a hobby box coming in. I don't think it's going to come on January 31st. I think it's going to come like a week after, but maybe on that Friday, maybe go snag up a box here and there to see if we can get it ripped here live. We also do got some pack odds. It looks like some of the shorter prints here are going to be Feel the Pop. They haven't added the announced, odds are not announced, but I would assume those are short print because there's only 5 cards. There's Jey Uso, Randy Orton, Stone Cold, Seth freaking Rollins, and The Rock. Headshots, those are going to be out of 1 and out of 720 hobby packs. Those inserts kind of look a little bit.
What did you think about that
Yeah, I was about
card?
to say, I don't.
Because the one I've seen is the one with like the
Yeah,
Judgment Day.
I said in the video, I do not like them. Like they look weird. They look like Mount Rushmore like esque. I don't know if that's what they're going for with those cards.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
But I
Yeah,
mean, like they have Solo Sikoa.
and it just looks funny because like just seeing like Carlito in there just makes it look even funnier.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Dude, you know what would have been a really cool like super super short print if they would have thrown like R-Truth in there. That'd be
That would have been
hilarious.
hilarious. Speaking,
Topps, if you listen to this,
I
I
just
want credit for
watched
that if you do it.
we watched the Royal Rumble. Him and Damian Priest watched the Royal Rumble. Man, R-Truth is so freaking funny.
Oh, I saw a snippet. I saw a snippet of it. It looked like Jamie Priest looked like he was
Dude,
cracking up.
it was hilarious. But yeah, like some of the headshots here, you got the bloodline, the fake bloodline. We got Sokoa, Fatu, Tamatonga, Tongaloa. You might like this one. Damage control here. Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Oscar, Kerry Sane. Judgment Day, as we've discussed here. There's a big DX one. We got Triple H, Shawn Michaels, China, X-Pac, Road Dogg. We got Evolution. They have it for some reason under Dave Batista. Triple H, Randy Orton. No Ric Flair.
No Billy Gunn. No Billy
No
Gunn on
Billy
the
Gunn
DX
and no
one?
Ric Flair. So on the Evolution. I don't know if it's because of their AEW ties. I don't know if Ric Flair is still tied to AEW with I know he had that energy drink. Woo, I think he was. I don't know. I really
Oh
don't know.
yeah. That's what threw me off because remember Billy
Yeah,
Gunn's
he's
in
in select.
select.
Yeah,
That's what's weird.
it's beyond me. We have Santos Escobar,
Nice.
Electra Lopez, and Angel Humberto. This is a little bit of awkward one here. We got Big E, Kofi, and Xavier Woods. We got the Kama Mufasa, Farouk, The Rock, D'Lo Brown. We got NWO, Hollywood Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. And then if I'm going to collect one, it's going to be this one. It is the Wyatt 6. It's Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, and Nikki Cross. So if there's going to be one that I'm going to chase, you guys know that I'm a
Ooh,
big
that's
Bray
gonna be a
Wyatt
good one.
guy. If you listen to the last episode, he was the one that kind of got me back into wrestling. Had the privilege of meeting Bray Wyatt at a Comic-Con. We failed to mention that last episode. But yeah, we have that one there. So if there's going to be one I'm going to collect, it's definitely going to be that one. And then other going on here, others potential short prints. We got the Helix checklist. I always like the Helix checklist. So I'm kind of a little bit slept on. If you go and look at Topps Chrome MLB, they have like a look. It's kind of like a Color Blast type esque background, but those are really cool. They got Bailey, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Braun Breaker, Kamala Hayes, Charlotte Flair, CM Punk, Cody, Cora Jade, The Rock, Dude Love, Jay Cargo, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Liv Morgan, Ludwig Kaiser, which is a little bit surprising on that one, Rey Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, RVD, Sheamus, Solo Sikoa, Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton, and Trick Williams. So pretty big names on that one, except for a few. Looks like another pretty short print is going to be Hidden Gems. Those do not have any odds, but there's only 5 cards. It's Hulk Hogan, Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Rock. So all legends, of course, except for Roman Reigns. Looks like the Let's Go will also be short printed. And then the Mania checklist, those will also be short printed. That's 1 out of 432 hobby packs. Let's Go is 1 out of 675 hobby packs. So yeah, there's going to be some fun cards here to collect. Again, it's going to look like a very, very fun set to rip open. Of course, the very first set here for Topps under the license. So again, stay tuned to all the socials for that. Obviously, it's also coming on the presence of Royal Rumble weekend. Bro P, I guess I'll throw it to you for before we head off to our next segment here. 2025 Topps Chrome. Is the juices flowing for a potential hobby box? It looks like some prices right now in the secondary are pushing around maybe 280 to 300 depending on your local hobby store.
Like the 200.
Maybe a blaster, maybe a mega. I know some megas have been hitting Walmart, so if you're listening to this, check your Walmarts. Is this enticing you right now for a potential hobby?
I got the super itch right now. So I obviously did not get through the Topps little EQ, whatever that stupid thing was on the checkout when it did it for release. So I was not able to snag one at the regular price. So I am going to be curious to see what the prices are for the market. I do have that day off already, the Friday, not for cards, but I have to go do some adult things. Got to get the car fixed. It's for some maintenance, or daily oil change and stuff like that. But I am off that day. So I am honestly, I might try the Topps website to see if I can snag in. I don't know what the traffic is going to look like, or if they're still going to do that stupid EQ, whatever the hell it is. So that'd be TBD. But I am going to try the website. For some reason, that'll go through. I probably will be looking into to see what the card shop market is and kind of take it from there. But yeah, I mean, I got the itch, and like this is the time of the year, especially for WWE, where like the wrestling really, really, really starts to get in. It kicks off with the Royal Rumble. And actually, I guess, I mean, I've been feeling it since last week, obviously, with TNA. We can even go back to Genesis that Sunday, TNA on Thursday, Saturday night's main event this past Saturday. We watched Raw, which that promo between Cody and CM Punk
Chef's
was
kiss.
beautiful. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch NXT tonight, so I'll watch it tomorrow morning. And obviously with an AEW on Wednesday. Friday we got SmackDown, and then Saturday we're at the Rumble, and then it's WrestleMania season. So, with these cards coming out too, that this weekend, like it just makes the itch a little bit more. But I have one quick checklist that I wanted to that we didn't get to go over real quick, but it's I think we talked about this probably the first time we hinted at doing this podcast about talking about like what possible, like talking about WWE cards and stuff like that, about sets, and we mentioned like John Cena. Like there is it's called the This Time Is Now checklist. 25 cards. It's gonna have some refractors and stuff like that, but they're not super hard to pull. It says they're 1 in every 10 hobby packs on average, so it's 25 cards total. So it is gonna be pretty cool to see. And I told you that it'd be a pretty cool like full set to collect and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be looking for that. But other than that,
yeah, you nailed that one on like right on the head. I think we both nailed it. I know we talked about, I think it's a Titletown insert where it has the John Cena that we talked about, the John Cena holding when he tied Ric Flair for the 16 championship. Obviously, you guys called this in the last pod. We were there for that.
Yeah.
Event. And then when we didn't know any checklists, we just had names of inserts and or parallels. We're like, that would be crazy if that's like a John Cena set for like kind of like the farewell tour. And yeah, that was going to be probably one of the bigger chases. It would be kind of cool to maybe complete the rainbow of those cards, maybe complete the full set. Those would be pretty cool. And before we head off from the check, I don't want to ignore the inscription. I know we talked about those a little bit. I think those are going to be the biggest chases of the set. If you guys don't know, on Monday, they released some more inscriptions here. So we have LA Knight, a 1/1 superfractor with the on it. Probably one of the bigger chases is going to be this throwback version of The Rock with Aloha on it. I think probably going to be either the second biggest chase or the biggest chase here is going to be the Roman Reigns with the Acknowledge Me inscription. That looks like it's numbered 1 out of 25. And obviously with WWE 2K coming out, they're heavily pushing Roman Reigns as he should. So yeah, that's going to be a crazy card. We got a super fractor of No Yeet. And then of course this has already been announced, but they posted it again. Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. Dude, I love it when he does that. The little.
It's just hilarious, dude.
And then we got Braun Breaker, got that dog in me. And of course they have some other inscriptions.
Whoa. Dude, speaking of that too, like the whole like I always like, you always hear rumblings of like, and I think I've even heard rumors that WWE sometimes it will plug in sounds for like certain stuff. Dude, that all those people were barking, and so was I.
Got that dog in me, Braun Breaker.
Mind you, By that time I probably maybe had like 2 Michelobs in me, so I
A
was
couple of
barking pretty
Gloria
loud.
margaritas, a couple of margs. And then of
Yeah.
course they showed
I
off
was like,
some
"Whoa, whoa,
other
whoa, whoa, whoa."
inscriptions there that previously already were shown here. They have the CM Punk Best in the World, the Rhea Ripley, the Rhea Bloody Ripley. Um, so yeah, I think those inscriptions are going to make the set highly, highly desirable. Going to make the chase fun, things of that nature. I guess I'll throw it to you really quickly before we head off to something else. Out of what we've seen so far, what's your favorite inscription?
Mm. I like the Cody
Story
one where it
finish.
says story finished. I do like that one a lot. Yeah, I do like that one. Um, I do like the Roman acknowledge me. That one's cool. And I do like the Tiffany Stratton. The it's Tiffy time. Um, I mean they're all good. They're all really good. I'm surprised they haven't. Maybe we haven't seen it yet, but like Jay doesn't have a geek
He
one.
has to have
That
one. If
one's a
Jimmy
little
has a no
surprising.
yeet, yeah,
I'm
Jimmy has to have a
assuming.
yeet, like yeet maybe written all over, or just maybe like one little yeet. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming he has to have one. So that one's I'm a little surprised that they haven't done. Especially like, I mean, Braun Breaker has his inscription of got that dog in me. So um, yeah, but yeah, I think they're all good. I like them all. It's gonna be a good chase. They're gonna be fun to chase.
yeah. Hopefully, I'm speaking to existence here as I wear the for the YouTubers as I wear my CM Punk jacket, the best in the world. I wish they would have picked a better photo. I really do, because that's obviously his render photo from when he came back. Would have loved maybe like a better picture, but yeah, that's the best in the world. CM Punk, that's my favorite inscription, along with the Cody and the Roman. I think those are going to be high desirable, and whoever pulls that CM Punk card or any of those cards, you'll be sitting pretty hefty on those. So again, inscriptions, look out for those. And again, keep it on the full channel, keep on the socials, because we're definitely going to be ripping as much product as we possibly can. And then, maybe potentially join some breaks depending on, what the prices are and how they group this and whatever that case may be. But yeah, keep an eye on those socials there, because we're going to be heavily, heavily invested into 2025 Topps Chrome WWE. Now, of course, like we've mentioned here, and like you briefly mentioned here, it is Royal Rumble weekend. Depending on when you're listening to this, you're either listening to this on Thursday and or Friday. But the Royal Rumble is officially here this Saturday. So it wouldn't be a wrestling podcast if we didn't talk about some predictions. It's a little bit of a short card, obviously for good reason, because obviously all the time is taken up by the Royal Rumble. But the card right now is looking as it stands. Obviously, I'm pretty sure there'll be some pre-show matches. I think it starts like a what, 4, 3?
Starts at 5. Oh, our central. It's 5 Central
That's a
Time,
pre-show or the actual Rumble?
so 6 Eastern. That's the Rumble. I think
Like
the
a what,
pre-show starts
3?
at like
Like what, 1,
1.
3,
I
something
want
like
to
that.
say.
CST. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. Go
that's
check out.
early.
I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a couple of pre-show
Whew.
matches on there. So make sure you keep an eye on the WWE socials for that. But as the card stands right now, we have a 2 out of 3 falls match. We got DIY versus Moses City Machine Guns. We then have the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match that is between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And then we have the Women's Royal Rumble. Before we go into those Royal Rumbles, we'll first talk about those 2 matches. We'll attack the Royal Rumble one by one, announce who's been announced so far. I don't want to say they're predictable, but I guess we'll start off with the DIY, the WWE Tag Team Championship, 2 out of 3 falls, DIY versus Motor Machine Guns. Who do you have taking that one?
This
Yeah.
one I got DIY, and I'm actually like I'm really excited for this one because I think even like Johnny Gargano had even tweeted like he tweeted like, oh, like I'm about to remind like all these people like who I am and what I could do. Because I feel like they're not given like enough time like to really show. And if you go back and look at like all their NXT stuff, like every time they do that finish where they have like they're in the crossface and they're both like trying to hold a hand, like it just instantly like takes me back to like when their days with them when they used to fight the revival, which is now FTR and AEW. Like those matches were crazy. So this one I'm excited for. I think it's probably gonna go like probably Motor City Machine Guns get the first pick, and then probably DIY gets the last two. But yeah, I'm rolling with DIY on this one.
Yeah,
We
same here. I'm rolling with
are,
DIY.
we
I was
are.
shocked as anybody when they did the heel turn. I did not see that coming. I thought Triple H loves
Yeah,
breaking up tag teams. He just loves breaking up tag teams. So I know when they were kind of teasing it the last couple of months or so, it looked like Ciampa was going to once again turn on Gargano. But then Gargano did the switch, I was like, oh shit, like they're gonna turn them heel. And Gargano is not like
Yeah, that was
he's not the
yeah.
ideal heel, but they're making it work, and it's worked pretty well so far. So I don't see. I love Motor Machine Guns. I love what they've done so far here in WWE. But yeah, I don't see them taking the belts off DIY this quickly. So yeah, I do have DIY taking the 2 out of 3 falls. I can have it the same way as you. I have Motor Machine Gun getting the first one, DIY, find a way to get the second one, and maybe potentially do some heelish tactics to get the third one. So yeah, DIY retaining, which I think is going to be a very underrated but a very good match.
Yeah. I was like thinking, I was like, man, I was trying to think of like tag teams, like who like eventually like who will drop, like who they'll drop the titles to. Dude, tell me why I think it's gonna be Pretty Deadly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes, boy, dude, those guys are
those guys
fucking
are
hilarious.
those guys are funny.
Those guys.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that too.
Pretty Deadly, the musical.
Maybe I'll be like their Royal Rumble. I think they always like not Royal Rumble. I'm sorry, the WrestleMania moment. It's like everybody always got to get like the WrestleMania moment, like R-Truth, Miz, things like that. So maybe they'll get their WrestleMania moment, like in a multi-man ladder match or something like that. But speaking of ladder matches, we got one coming back here: the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Again, I think this one, I don't want to say it's predictable, but I think it's pretty. I would say pretty predictable. I will lead it off here.
Like safe.
Yeah, I would think it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, I think it's Cody. I think we're both. I think it's both. We're both going with Cody on this one. Yeah, I think. Man, it's so hard. 'Cause I feel like Kevin. I think that's the thing about some of these guys. Like they don't like and like. There's always that argument where like the belt don't make the wrestler, like the wrestler makes the belt. I think it's the argument. Like Kevin, like obviously doesn't like need the belt because he's like so like over and he's such a good heel. Like I'm so glad they turned him back heel because sometimes he could be a little rough as a babyface. Like he's just a natural born heel. Like and so, like obviously he doesn't like need the title to be over, but like I think like the title is just like a kind of like that reward for like all the hard work and how like over they are. So I think like he deserves a title run eventually, but I just don't think it's gonna come at the expense of Cody Rhodes because I think obviously Cody Rhodes is gonna have that. He needs to have that WrestleMania defense. I think is the probably, which I probably leads into who I think whoever's gonna win the Royal Rumble is probably gonna go after Cody. I don't think they're gonna go after Gunther. So
yeah,
but yeah, it's to be what they do with the belts too because when we were there. Obviously they did the title raise they did the raising of the 2 titles and they did it on Monday too. I think if I'm not mistaken. It'd be interesting to see if they come up with a new design, like if they're gonna like somehow like mesh the 2 together and do like a modern take on the Wing Eagle maybe or something like that. Because I don't know the fact that they're still having Kevin carry around the Wing Eagle when it was supposed to be like a one night only for at Saturday Night event the first time. So it's kind of interesting that they still had it around. So. I'm wondering if they're gonna make another belt, and have it like a no, but classic design look. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that the other day too. I was like, yeah, it's pretty dope. And yeah, the fact that it's not just the WWE Championship, the undisputed hanging from the rafters there. It's both of them. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting what they do with that. But yeah, I myself also as well have Cody Rhodes taking the ladder match here. I do not see him dropping this title to Kevin Owens. I feel like if we were going to do that, it would have been at Saturday Night Main Event the first time and then having him quickly win it back here at the Rumble so he can start that title reign once again and leading up to WrestleMania. But I feel like that's now gone. But yeah, like you mentioned there, Kevin Owens has been doing tremendous heel work from the t-shirts that he's been wearing from everybody that he faces. Wearing the Cody Sucks Egg shirt. I think he wore that at this past. I think he wore that on Saturday, right? He wore it on Saturday.
Yeah, he wore it on Saturday.
Last Friday, he wore a Naomi shirt when he faced Jimmy Uso. The other week before, he faced Rey Mysterio. He wore the Hall of Fame shirt. So yeah, the dude just has a massive collection of of t-shirts. So the fact that he's been incorporating those.
And then on Monday, on this past Monday, he had the Sami Zayn Forever shirt.
So, yeah, it's like the small, subtle details. that he throws into his work. And like if you go like you mentioned, if you go back and look at his heel work down at NXT when he first came up, when you look at the Chris Jericho stuff too, like he's way better as a heel. So yeah, I think his maybe down the line his time will come if that's a WWE championship, maybe the world heavyweight down that line. But I think right now, unfortunately, it's just not his time. And I think, like you mentioned, I think this is kind of like his moment of like, hey, like we recognize you, you can carry this this fake winged eagle, this replica. But it's just right now we have our money involved in investment into other superstars, which is not to take for granted because again, this roster is I think the most stacked that it's been in a very very long time. So, yeah, Kevin Owens. I do not see him taking this. Cody will be champ as he heads into WrestleMania season. So those are the two standard matches here that we have on the Royal Rumble card. Again, like we just briefly mentioned, a lot of the time is taken up by these now two both women and men Royal Rumble matches. So let's first cover the women's Royal Rumble match. As far as what's been announced so far, is we have Nia Jax, we got Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Nile, Io Sky, and 21 more. And that's as far as of right now. Again, I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I'm pretty sure maybe on Friday we'll probably get some more announcement, maybe like a Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, things of that nature. But as far as who's been announced so far, maybe who we think maybe a potential Rumble. I'm not too sure if there's any more on the WWE website. That's just where I see right now on this Google little website that I found. This one here kind of seems a little bit. I think both Rumbles are up in the air, but I would say, who do you have winning the women's Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I think the honestly, I think to me the women's is probably more up in the air because I'm having a hard time I think what I try to do is I try to like picture like possible feuds, like if they don't win the Rumble, like what could they possibly do at WrestleMania? Like that's the way I kind of see it. The only other name that I have here that I don't think you confirmed was Raquel Rodriguez. So I have a total of 10 women so far now, so that still leaves 20. So that's a big gap. Like I said, obviously on Friday they probably announced like Chelsea, Piper. Who else is on SmackDown? I'm trying to think. I can't even think who else is on SmackDown. But I would think those are like the bigger two. I think the one obviously I think we're probably questioning is Jade going to return at the Rumble from that injury, and I think they still they haven't even like proceeded with that storyline, like who attacked her, if they're still going to proceed with that. Which honestly I think they're probably gonna. I think it's Naomi, honestly. And obviously like Naomi just went up in there, sold her title, and now obviously he's buddy with Bianca. So I want to kind of roll with Bianca, but I think like also like I said, I'm thinking about like in the future, like obviously you can see the feud between Bianca and Jade, and so that's what I'm kind of thinking. It might not be Bianca, might not be Naomi. I don't want to say Charlotte because I feel like that's too predictable, and I feel like that's too safe for WWE. One, I'm surprised they didn't keep her return
really quickly. As you say that, what do you think about that? Like, do you hate them announcing? I know people are a bit of frenzy on the internet. Do you like them announcing, or do you hate them not announcing?
I don't like it. I don't like them. No, I like to because I think that's what gives the thrill of the Rumble is like they want to see the surprise return. So I think that's why like if Jade comes out, we're like, oh shit, here comes Jade. She wasn't announced, and now she's coming back. So it's kind of like that thing. So yeah, I'm not a fan. Like I was also like not a fan like in 2023 where they announced Cody was going to be in the Rumble. Like
yeah.
So it's like when you got down to like when we were there, obviously we knew Cody was missing, and after number 29 came out, I think 29 was Logan and Logan Paul, and so obviously we knew 30 was Cody. But it's like, well, we know it's Cody, so it kind of takes away the surprise. I don't know. This one's kind of hard. So obviously we have Rhea, and then you have Tiffany. God, I hope it's not Nia Jax. I swear to God. I don't know why. I kind of want to roll with Io, honestly.
Dude, we're the same goddamn person. I have Io winning.
Yeah, oh shit. Okay. All right. Cool. I don't know. I feel like they're. Oh man. big ups to Damage Control. Like that group cannot stay healthy. I even tweeted it out like when Dakota went down with the concussion. I was like, dude, they're like so cursed. Like Asuka's hurt, Kairi Sane's hurt, and then obviously Dakota was hurt or keeps getting
Yeah,
hurt.
she's had a bad string of bad luck.
And now it's literally just yeah. And so like now it's like legit just Io, and so like you could tell like WWE's pushing her like crazy. Obviously she was already WWE champion, but to see her fight, I would think she'd probably target Rhea, is my guess. So I think those two could probably have like a hell of a match at WrestleMania. But I mean, there's still like a lot of names that are probably can be in the Rumble, like Becky. Like I'm sure she might make a return, but also I think that's like a safe like I don't want to say people will be mad, but they'll probably be like, oh, it was Becky kind of thing, you know. But yeah, like Becky's still missing, Jade is still missing. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot of NXT
we'll have some
girls.
NXT
so like
people.
Roxanne Perez, like I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I see like Roxanne eliminating Bailey. Honestly, at the Rumble, like or something to do with Cora Jade, like stuff like that. So I don't know. That's kind of where I went with that. But yeah, rolling with Io Sky.
Yeah, I have Io winning it here. They kind of teased it a little bit there on Monday when Bailey interrupted Rhea, and then they kind of had their little bit of interaction. Obviously, Bailey winning the championship, the Royal Rumble last year, and challenging Io at the winning the Rumble, and then challenging Io at WrestleMania. So I definitely see Io. I can see Io taking it. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte Flair also wins and if she challenges Tiffany Stratton for the belt. I think that feud would cook as well. That match would cook. They're both very similar athleticism wise, ring style wise. So I think that would be a good little feud for them too as well, and kind of put Tiffany Stratton on that. She's already on a top tier level, but a hell of a match with Charlotte Flair on a WrestleMania level, I think will bring her up even more. And I think we took Charlotte Flair a little bit for granted. I know there was obviously a lot of the internet wrestling crowd hating Charlotte Flair and not liking Charlotte Flair for being the push, but I think we've kind of seen the absence of it, and we've kind of felt that absence because she's been gone for a hot minute. And it seems like she's getting revamped, like I don't want to say a new gimmick, but kind of like more like diamondy, more like Ric Flair-esque, like I think they're showing like airplanes in the promos and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with Charlotte Flair, but yeah, if I was a betting man, I would bet my money on Io Sky, and I can see her challenging Rhea Ripley for the challenge. I don't see her challenging Tiffany Stratton. But yeah, I see have Io Sky making it, and you took my thought here. I see like Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade making it. I see Bailey getting eliminated by Roxanne Perez, and them having their WrestleMania match. That can give Roxanne Perez her push to the main roster.
Yeah.
Cora Jade, she's kind of fluctuating between NXT and then obviously, like you mentioned, their Genesis with TNA. She's kind of going between both. And then maybe we get some other NXT women. We talked about Stephanie Vicker. We talked about Julia. Maybe a Kalani Jordan, maybe a Lola Vice, maybe they're, despite some stuff I'm not going to get into it on the internet, Jada Parker. So there's still some women down at NXT that they can throw in there, and I think there's still some women down on SmackDown, B-Fab, all those that will be in the Rumble that will take up some spots.
Oh yeah, and also WWE just signed Jordan Grace.
Oh yeah,
too,
they just signed Jordan Grace, so that would be cool. She can make her.
Yeah.
I think she made her debut at the 22, 21, 23. She made her. Yeah, she did one of those Rumbles. And maybe we get some.
Maybe it was last year.
My days are all thrown off. My years are all. My years are all fucked.
It may have been 24. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, she's probably more than likely going to be in the Rumble, and I don't think she's going to go down to NXT. I think she's probably going to go to either Raw or SmackDown. Especially she was already in NXT when she was with TNA. So, yeah, there's like I said, like from what we counted, there's 10 confirmed names as of Tuesday. So there's 20 spots left. So it's a big gap.
Agree. So yeah, it definitely opens up the door there for some TNA knockouts to come into this Royal Rumble with that partnership. But now let's head off to the men's Royal Rumble. So again, I'm not too sure what the WWE website has. I'll let you read off the website because my phone's actually about to die. But who do you have on the WWE website who's been announced so far?
Yeah. So far from what we have John Cena, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Jey Uso, Penta, Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, and Rey Mysterio is who's been confirmed. And if I did the math right, I think that's 13 names. So there's about 17 left. And I don't see LA Knight on here now that I'm looking at the list, and I think he
Yeah, he's
already
confirmed. Yeah, he is
declared for the
confirmed.
Royal Rumble. Yeah. Yeah, he's not on this list for some reason. So WWE, come on, get your article updated. But yeah, LA Knight's not on here. So obviously, so 16. So more than half is still like up in the air, more than likely. But I'm assuming like Jimmy's probably going to be in there, Jacob Fatu, Tamatanga. Who else is missing that's on this list? I'm pretty sure maybe Sheamus is probably going to be in
Sheamus,
there.
Dominic Mysterio,
Yeah, Dirty
some of
Dome.
those like other tag teams, New Day, the War Raiders, some of those guys.
Yeah. So like I think like the men's is like I think that one can like easily fill up with like their this one I don't expect like many surprises. Because I think they have enough like roster build to to fill it up. Like I don't think there's gonna be like that many surprises on this one. I'm trying to even think like who can come out from NXT. Trick can probably come out in the Rumble. I don't know if they put Obafemi in there. Honestly,
Oh, but family, I think about that.
like just throw out a bunch of people. Honestly, um, Ethan Page is probably gonna eventually get called up to the main roster, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's in there. God, what was the name I just had on my tip of my head and I just lost it. Damn it, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Um, but who's gonna win this one? Oh man, this one's also again. I try to do the same thing like I did for the other Rumble. Like I try to like play out like WrestleMania potential matches. Um, I think the safest like I don't know. I don't see. Okay, so honestly, what I think might happen, like I think a WrestleMania match might be happening like between like Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. I don't know what that whole dynamic that's going on. I have a feeling that they're kind of leading towards like a matchup in a sense. So I don't have any of them too. Um, yeah. So I am torn between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. Honestly, it's between those two for
McIntyre.
me. Um, yeah, I don't see the. I don't know. I don't think Roman Reigns will probably get it. I honestly see him either like eliminated like by Jacob Fatu. Honestly, like, and I think that might set up like a Roman Jacob Fatu match, or like maybe I don't know where the hell the Rock's at. I don't know where he's gonna play if he's gonna play any role in this at all. So maybe he's in the Rumble. He throws out Roman Reigns. Sets up finally the Roman Reigns Rock match that we've been talking about for like fucking forever. It seems like. Um, John Cena. I don't know. I feel like it's. I think that's like the safe one too. And also, I don't. I don't know. It's gonna be. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. But yeah, I'm kind of torn between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre because honestly, I think a CM Punk against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania would do crazy numbers. And same thing for like Drew and Cody. I feel like Drew's been like chasing Cody for like
Yeah.
so long already. Like, and he, you know, getting distracted with the bloodline and all this stuff. And um, yeah, I honestly think it's gonna be between them two. And if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go Punk. Honestly.
Yep. Once again, exact same person. I have CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble this year, finishing his story-esque of finally getting his main event match. I know they keep everybody that he's having promo battles with keeps mentioning that how he's never main evented at WrestleMania. So I do have excuse me. Excuse me there. I do have CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble, and I think the promo that they had on Monday kind of, I don't want to say confirmed it, but kind of hinted at it. Because if he does win, and I know people are saying like, well, what about Punk and Rollins? Like, what is that match? I think that's why they had that match on Netflix, on their first episode of Netflix to kind of get that out of the way. Like, hey, they had their match. They'll obviously meet up again at some point because I don't think they're ever going to leave it 1-0 Punk. I'm pretty sure I think it's actually like 2-0 when you actually count the Shield match that they had on Raw back in 2013. But I don't think they'll ever leave it, uneven. I think eventually they will get their match, if it's for the belt or not belt. I do not know. But yeah, I do see CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Cody for the Undisputed Championship. That promo kind of did numbers, and I think that's like them testing the water, see like what's the reaction to that. And once again, Tony Khan fumbling the bag there because he could have had that in AEW, but couldn't do it. So,
Dude, can you imagine like if it really is like it comes down to CM Punk and Cody, and they're obviously main event at night 2 of WrestleMania, like Tony's got to be like, God damn
like,
it!
damn, I let these guys slide for Jack
Shouldn't have
Perry.
been
Well,
so
CM
scared,
Punk, we
Tony.
don't know
Come
why
on,
Cody
bro.
left. But yeah, I think the
Yeah.
John Cena stuff. I think the John Cena stuff is. I think what's thrown it away that I don't think why he's not going to win is that the fact that he's promoted for Elimination Chamber. So I think that's going to be his way again of like,
Yeah, they keep promoting him for that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's his way of like, okay, I didn't win the Rumble. What's another way that I can? Obviously, they treat the Elimination Chamber as like your second opportunity to go and get a championship match. And I think that's going to be his opportunity to once again get that opportunity to win his 17th championship. If he's going to win it or not, obviously we do not know. And I would assume obviously he will go against Gunther for that, but yeah, I don't see that happening. So unfortunately, John Cena, the farewell tour does not end well or does not start well at the Royal Rumble. I think he does get eliminated. I don't know by who. Maybe it sets up his WrestleMania match. Maybe we've heard the rumblings of like Logan Paul. We don't know. Because I think people also fail to recognize that like WrestleMania is not his end. Like he's gonna go a full year. He's gonna go all the way to the end to 2025. So he still has those opportunities to have those matches and have that opportunity to win the championship. So as much as I would love to see John Cena take that. I think this year belongs to CM Punk. There's a reason why he won the main event of Netflix. There's a reason why he's on the icon of Netflix. There's a reason why they promoted him like crazy, pushing him like crazy. So yeah, I don't see a world where he wouldn't win the Royal Rumble, and if he doesn't win, what's going to be next for him? Because yeah, I really don't see. I really, even though it's very star studded, I really don't see anybody else winning the Rumble. I guess you can make the argument for Roman, but I don't see that happening. You mentioned it there as well. I don't know how The Rock is going to play into it. I don't see Sami Zayn winning it. I don't see Seth winning it. I don't see Jey Uso winning it, unfortunately. So yeah, even though there's a lot of big names, a lot of stars, it's hard to ignore CM Punk not winning the Royal Rumble.
I had to look up something really quick because you were talking about like John Cena, like potential matchups, like the whole rumors of Logan Paul. So I had to look up something just to confirm. But John Cena, like Sheamus, has not won the Intercontinental title. So maybe we could see a John Cena Braun Breaker maybe match at WrestleMania, and maybe like that could be the title that he wins, a title that obviously he has not held. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that maybe they're looking into. Because you notice how I don't know. For one thing, like the thing that's making me pissed off about Netflix here in the States is we're missing like certain
Yeah.
promos. So I don't know if you saw like that backstage Braun Breaker promo where he mentioned like the Royal Rumble's filled up with that the Royal Rumble's filled up with like older guys. So I kind of felt, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, ooh, maybe there's like a little shot at John Cena, and maybe like Braun Breaker eliminates him, and maybe he'll lose the chamber match or something like that, and then maybe he'll find his way to like the Intercontinental title picture or something like that, and maybe I don't know, maybe he takes it off Braun at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And then maybe that could revive the John Cena Sheamus feud. Maybe we can get another classic match, another banger.
That's a good call.
Sheamus
I honestly did not think about it.
And maybe
IC title opens. I think the US title opens were some of John Cena's best work. So like, bring it back to IC title, depending on his schedule too. Like we don't know what his schedule looked like. I know some people were kind of mentioning that. I think he had like 34 dates or something like that. But I think he was stuck somewhere like filming something. So I don't know exactly.
Yeah, apparently he's somewhere else. That's why he hasn't been anywhere. Yeah, I don't know where he's at, but maybe we'll know he'll be Saturday. He'll be in Indianapolis.
So yeah, CM Punk. I have him winning the Rumble. Io Sky's being, ironically enough, for the exact same person. We both have those taking the Rumbles there, heading off to WrestleMania. But yeah, we will have a post Rumble reaction. We'll probably record it on Sunday potentially, and then have it up on Monday, depending on what everything's looking like. So we will have a post Royal Rumble reaction. Maybe we'll introduce our third co-host here, that Bozo, if he figures out how to work it. Maybe we'll get him on to get another third eye view. Then of course Topps Chrome would officially hit the weekend. So of course, talking some cards, seeing what cards are selling for, what's been pulled, things of that nature. So yeah, a lot of things coming to collect in the 1, 2, 3. So please feel free to stick out to the channels. Again, you can find me at Moon3PO, BroPO. You can find him at _Robbie at that's _ROBBEE, those 2 B's, 3 E's, and go check out his TikToks and things of that nature. Because he has some pretty good